Also, I want to welcome RAC officials to Kyegegwa district. On the same note, I want to appreciate the work and the efforts, commitment of RAC in fighting corruption in the Rwenzori region and particularly Kyegegwa district. Mr. Chief Guest, I have known RAC for a long time, even before I became the chairman of the district. And this is an organization, a local organization, that has tirelessly fought corruption in the Rwenzori region. And their work is commendable. We have signed an MOU with RAC as Kyegegwa district local government. And we have always worked together. We have never clashed. And we appreciate their cordial relationship with us as Kyegegwa district local government. I want also to thank my people, my staff. When I look in one of the reports of Rwenzori at corruption, I think Kyegegwa have the least issues that RAC has ever raised than any other district in the region. I'm very happy and I want to appreciate my staff for that good work. And when we look at even the number of issues that we are raising, and we look at the number of issues that have been responded to, and the issues that are still outstanding, we are still doing very well. So I want to thank my team. I want also to thank RAC for that cordial relationship. Fighting corruption is not an easy task countrywide, and not even in Uganda, but even in other countries. It has not been an easy task. But the moment we stand together, I think we can fight corruption in Kyegegwa, in Rwenzori, and Uganda as a whole. People who talk about corruption are not liked by most of the society members. You become an enemy. Kakoza knows. When you tell the people of Kakawara about Kakoza, they say, that stubborn boy. Because he's talking about corruption, he's talking the truth. There is one day when money that RAC has been able to recover in the region. I was very happy, and I want to appreciate it. Very happy. So I do commend the work of RAC in this region and Kyegegwa district. With those few remarks, once again, I welcome you to Kyegegwa district, and I can say this meeting is officially open by the district chairperson.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, for those words of encouragement. We are now going to get a presentation from our ED.
Make a presentation? Yes. Okay. I'm making a report about the corruption rate. The theme for this year is promoting social accountability through active citizenry. The chief guest, the district chairperson, all heads of department present, the CAO, members of the cluster, media fraternity, RAC board staff and monitors, all protocol observed. I welcome you to the Anticorruption Convention 2020, where we join the rest of the world to commemorate Anticorruption Day. The theme for this year is promoting social accountability through active citizenry. The importance of anti-corruption is explicitly highlighted in the Sustainable Development Goal 16, which requires states to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels, through reducing illicit financial flows, strengthening recovery and return of stolen assets, substantially reducing bribery and corruption, facilitate the provision of such assistance. RAC has over time undertaken various interventions to fight corruption in the Rwenzori region. We have recruited and trained over 780 monitors and activists. These document, monitor, cause action against corruption. This year we have monitored over 252 projects in the region and caused the recovery of over 1 billion shillings. That would have been lost through shoddy works, diversion, or misuse. Our journey has not been easy, our chief guest, but with support and collaboration from our partners and state anti-graft agencies, where you belong, we have moved milestones. To defeat corruption, concerted effort is inevitable. At RAC, we strongly believe that without collaboration, our vision for a just and corruption-free society would never be realized. First and foremost, we commend our grassroots monitors, the foot soldiers who brave and monitor services amid this COVID-19 pandemic, and at the forefront of the fight against corruption. I think here we have how many monitors. Please stand up and let's applaud them. Let's give them a hand. So those are the gallant men and women who we are talking about, who are the active citizenry that our theme talks about today. We also commend our partners, the Democratic Governance Facility, for the financial support they've extended to us, and the Rwenzori Governance Cluster members, our national partners, CS-BAG, ACU, ACFIM, NGO Forum, to mention a few. To our venerated partners, the Interagency Forum, which is chaired by the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity, the IGG, PPDA, Auditor General, DPP, CID, to mention a few. We could not thank you more. Your selfless support to RAC has greatly contributed to the conclusion of cases that would otherwise have never been brought to an end. We further appreciate the government at national and local government level. Here we appreciate the CAO and you heads of department who are present for having accorded us the support in the fight against corruption. You've given us free places for meetings like here. You've afforded us your vehicles. We are really grateful for all that support. The MOUs, as the chairperson has mentioned, signed between the local governments and Rwenzori. We have Kichuchu and Kiumuro, these ones are in Chenjojo. We have Kiburara Market and Karambi, these are in Kabarole. We have a project where we were able to recover 700 million, which monies would have been lost, but because RAC engaged the Office of the Inspectorate of Government, we were able to recover this money. This 700 million was paid to the people who deserve it. So we thank IGG and other IAF members for intervening in our cases whenever we raise them. Our dear chief guest, I'm going to tell you, RAC has received 2013 cases for this year, and some of these cases have been shared through the community feedback meetings, sub-county conferences, district integrity promotion forums, social audits conducted between us and the district leaders, and a total number of 912 cases have been concluded, while the 1,000 still remain under investigation. In Kyegegwa specifically, as the chairman has mentioned, we have received 95 cases, 25 have been responded to, 64 are ongoing, 6 are not yet responded to, which we are giving them a total of 94% response rate, and we thank you for that. In detail, for Kyegegwa, the cases responded to 26%, 68% remains ongoing, and 6% not yet responded to. What does it mean? We still need your support so that we are able to conclude these cases to 100%. Without us going there, we are still struggling, and we need to continue the fight. Our chief guest, we appreciate the cordial relationship between us and your office, where you've supported us when we called upon you to conduct special audits for specific projects. and we appreciate the Auditor General for that. And actually, we are also grateful that you've given us copies of the Auditor General's reports for the 9 districts. We've been receiving them every year. We thank you for that. Our dear chief guest, we also want to bring to you the attention some of the issues I also raised in Changes yesterday, but I'll just highlight them because now we're in Kyegegwa and they affect all auditors everywhere. Here, the internal auditor will support me or kind of add whatever he feels he can add, because I know Office of Auditor General still works well with the Internal Auditor General. One of the issues is the delayed implementation of the internal audit and Auditor General's recommendations, which actually demotivates them as the auditors when you raise recommendations and yourself and people don't act. So we need to ensure that mechanisms are in place where all your recommendations are timely implemented. Then there's an issue of limited resources for the internal audit department, where, as I mentioned yesterday, they are not having enough monies to run the department, and that's, even they have an issue of human resource, where they are only, in some districts it's 1, some districts are 2, and yet they cover a lot of projects. There's another issue of limited flow of information between the departmental heads and the internal audit department, where they rely on information, yet it has already been changed in terms of the guidelines. So there's need for that to improve. There's delayed implementation of activities by the heads of department, and sometimes this creates them to have delayed audit, which is also a challenge. There's the poor remuneration of the internal auditors, and yet their qualification is similar to the Office of the Auditor General. So it creates them to become small fish somewhere and some kind of intimidated and discriminated. So we want to see how do we elevate their salaries so they're able to actually audit with some kind of motivation. The other issue we are raising is some stubbornness by some secondary schools who refuse to be audited by the internal audit, yet they are mandated to do so. This may not be a case of Kyegegwa, but it's also a case in other districts. He will share. And then there's an issue that the independence of the Auditor General, the Internal Audit Department, is wanting in most of the districts, where we've had issues that the independence is watered down because they work under the supervision of CAO, who is the vote controller. Their hands seem to be tied when it comes to raising audit queries that implicate their supervisors, that is the CAO. RAC has received quite a number of cases in central level, so to stop this kind of intimidation. Then there was an issue about the there's an issue about the acceptance. This is to acceptance of accountability over a prolonged period of time, which causes fraud and accelerates forgery of accountability even after a long period of time. We believe this should not happen because we believe audit accountability should be within a month of the time when you implement it or something. But how can you receive accountability over 6 months, 3 months? Is that really accountability? That encourages fraud, because someone who actually created it will still continue creating all this accountability. The time frame actually helps us determine what type of accountability we're going to provide. Then there's an issue of the selection criteria of the audit sample, which is not very clear to the people. Because sometimes us what we think are issues, we shall never see them in the Auditor General's what? Auditor General's reports. They are always silent. They come as unqualified. Yet we believe that if you dug deeper, there are things which can happen. At least the good thing is that the Auditor General has also a department which can do forensic audit to address some of these. Our chief guest today, we would also like to request your office to actually look into some of the following issues which we feel pertinent and they need your support. We know that the districts, some of the districts have received Ebola and COVID funds, and most of us have had these issues being raised over and over that they are challenging. We want you, as you are auditing, to audit Ebola and COVID funds for all the districts which have received this money, for us to get an insight what's going on, because the complaints keep coming in from Toroko, Bundibuji, wherever, these ones who receive Ebola money. Now with those COVID has been given to all the districts. If you can help us also look at that, it would be a very good thing to see. Did our region look at it properly, or maybe the whole of Uganda? Then there was an issue of diversion of PHC funds, capital development funds, in the financial year 2018-2019. In Bondoboje district here, we request your office to help us do a forensic audit or a special audit for it, because 125,814,534 shillings were diverted. And these were monies under PHC, but they were diverted to other departments. We would like to see what happened to these monies, what accountability is present there. So if the Auditor General can really look at this, we would be grateful. The other issue we would like you to take forward is the issue of the shoulder works on Kibuku Town Council, Tarmac Road. This is supposed to be 400 meters, and it was costing around 197 million, and also 50 million was added to complete by the works on that road. Even if you went there today, you will not find the tarmac as they are claiming. So we'd like you to do a value for money audit for it, so that we are able to understand what is actually going on. It is our desire that your office brings this to logical conclusion, because with the support of Auditor General, through the forensic audits, we will be able to actually get the justice we are seeking for. I say this for God and my country. I remain Biangwa Angela, the Executive Director, Rwenzori Anticorruption Coalition.
Thank you. Thank you, Wana Idi, for that presentation. We are supposed to have the remarks of the RDC, but we will not be here. So,
How is here?
you are welcome, Madam Cow. The space is open now for us to raise our issues, make some remarks, additions and subtractions. I'll wait for the RDC. You can either raise on the issues in the ED's remarks, or you can bring in a new issue.
Maybe the internal auditor wants to add something, or if you don't.
Yes.
The internal auditor.
Facing some challenges, were instructed to audit annually secondary schools and produce a report on them. So I have communicated to them, and I'm going to do that. And they will either accept or deny. Whoever refuses, we shall say such and such amount couldn't be audited due to ABCD, and we submit. And the Auditor General's office knows what it will do later. Then on acceptance of accountabilities, sometimes we face challenges, and even the Auditor General's office faces challenges. Why? Because somebody will requisition money at the beginning of the quarter, but for you audit at the end when the quarter has expired, has ended, like 15 days after the expiration of the quarter. So that time, there's no way how you can say that now the month has ended, bring that accountability since you have executed. So the timing differences in audit periods also aids this one to happen. Then for auditing of Ebola and the COVID funds, these are audited by us as internal audit department and the Auditor General's office during the annual audits. And among the key audit areas was COVID for the last financial year 2019-2020. So I think they did a comprehensive audit of it with the aid of the reports we had. Then for remuneration, indeed it is true that the audit is underfunded, because if we could take the example of Kyegegwa, this quarter, the whole of second quarter, we have around 2 million for the whole department. So it also leaves a lot to be desired. Then on the remuneration as far as wage with the Auditor General's office, that one at the moment, we talked to the Internal Auditor General. The Internal Auditor General said at the moment may not be possible, but negotiations are on. And our urge or our plate is to be elevated to a self-sustaining department. That means it will be headed by somebody at U1. So that is what we are fighting for now, so that the remuneration issue will come later after we have become a fully-fledged department, which in future will get its own funding directly from the center. So that is what we are agitating for now. Then on audit independence, sometimes there are some projects which say that the accounting officer can propel you to report or not report on something. But sometimes we are advised by the Internal Auditor General when we were in the meeting, and that like projects, when the project is still running, or when the project is still in the middle and the quarter has ended, or the financial has ended, or it has taken long, when you say that please refund that money, there are two things that happen. The community will not benefit because the project has not been completed. When the culprit or when the contractor refunds, that money will have to go to the cash and assets recovery account of Bank of Uganda. That means it still has to go back through the normal processes of appropriation, so that maybe it can come back. But most of the times it does not come back to benefit that project. We are advised that we pressurize, we put exact pressure to the contractors to ensure that they finish the projects meant for the community within the time given, or request for extension if they have genuine reasons. But when you say he has not implemented, sometimes this happens with roads. The engineer requisitions money, we have one grader, so we put the works online, that from this sub-county to go to this sub-county. So the financial ends before even the engineer has finished the roads. So what we do is to keep track. You requested funds for this road. Have you done it? You requested it. With the technical staff, they will tell you, we advanced engineer this much, we advanced this contractor this much, please follow him up. That's what I've been doing, and we shall continue doing it. And we have even informed the RAC. When they come for information, I will tell them, please go and monitor the other site.
Allow me to unmask myself, but for you who are near me, like my sister here, you pull yours even up to the eyes. One, I want to begin by thanking the RAC. RAC, the work you have been doing, I think has helped some of us, the positive thinkers, people who think positively. The work has been good. And I just want to say, continue with it. You did not see my hand, but you wanted me to say something. But there's one thing that I feel is a gap, and maybe RAC can take it home the way I'm trying to propose now. RAC, you have concentrated so much on, let me say, us who are delivering services, but you have skipped the processes of government. I remember, you reminded me of my father. Whenever he would give a worker a piece of job to do, he would ensure that there is everything that it takes to perform that function. You might find someone is just maybe like one. When I entered service, that was 1996, December, so I'm about to have my birthday in civil service. You would be, I was a CDA by then. and you would be doing this type of work, and you know where you start and where you end. But these days, you don't even know where you are beginning and where you are ending. Maybe you know what you are supposed to do by appointment. But along the way, you are doing this, you are doing this, you are doing this, you are doing this, they add this, there is the other one, there is the other one, and the other one, and the other one yet to come. Like the CDOs right now. People will complain that CDOs are not in office. But look at what they are doing. The NIOG has taken them complete. I think it's about a full month, almost not in office. Now it's a NIOG. The other time it was YLP, WEP, NIOG, then the disability, people with disability. Now there is also this one. Tomorrow there will be another one, and another one, and another one. So you find that as you are entering, the service is defined. But as you are there, it starts losing form. It becomes amorphous. And you are jumping here or jumping there. Like I'm supposed to be in Hakuyu right now. And you have seen me going away. Say, I'm coming. And now people will say, that man never keeps time. And it becomes a RAC issue now. RAC issue. Nyakava does not keep time. Incidentally, I keep time. But I'm saying it may come to that. So we need, as RAC, I ask, that also look at the processes someone is going through to do the work. There was that time when they said accommodation is part of consolidated salary now. Accommodation is also there. And you know what it means? That was, I don't remember, it might have been like 1997. And if the accommodation was 10,000, it is still 10,000. And yet, I think a cow would be handy in helping me do the work and protect the lives of these children, the rights of these children. But I'm also hitting them on the motorbike. And where is the office space? Is it there? So some of these things, as RAC, you need to dig them up, bring them, make the work and RAC is doing, and encourage the RAC to continue, but also take into account what is this environment that a person like Nyakabwa here is performing the duties from. What is that environment? Is it enabling? If it's not enabling, then it's bad. Maybe on an end note, I just want to inform this meeting that our children are endangered. Our children are endangered. And maybe RAC can take it on also. Our children are endangered. By just looking at figures, I requested the health department. They printed me, no, they gave me a soft copy of the figures. And when I added it, I subtracted, subtracting, I discovered that over 3,000 children from the month of July, rather January, up to September, they had gotten pregnant. And I'm sure they are not in school. Kyegegwa district.
How many?
3,038 children. Just, I'm not a spokesperson of the district, but I'm looking at my mandate as a probation officer. As a probation officer. This is dangerous. It's dangerous. You see, pregnancy is definitely it is deferment, but deferment that has resulted into a child getting pregnant. It's not a laughing issue. It's not a laughing issue. Umutoro tugama ngwebi babisekera nk'ebirungi. So it is excessive, but I'm not really actually laughing. But we need to do something about it. Who are these and where do they live and where are they? Where do they go? our children are missing their opportunity to grow into full human persons. They are becoming mothers when they are children. They are becoming mothers, child mothers of us. It's a cycle of children now, but involving some adult behavior. So we need to do something about this. And I'm also calling upon all of us, the monitors. Who are these people? Because we don't get, now we are getting the information indirectly. But these people, why you also report about them, you monitor them, and say there is a case here and there is another one here. Then when I don't handle that case, or when the police officer fails the case, we can say, but we reported it. So let's also, I think it's also another form of corruption, because it involves very many people, by the way. The parent is involved, the child in quotes is involved, there are other duty bearers involved, and because of corrupt tendencies, not money, there's also mental corruption, psychological corruption. People cannot. When it comes to talking about children, I'm so passionate that I can disorganize the meeting. You can disorganize the meeting because I was told, you know, you can 1 hour, and I'm taking about 30 minutes to talk. Thank you so much.
But I think the things that are children that are captured are the ones that have been impregnated. So when you look at those ones who have been failed but not impregnated, then you think it is hard to capture them unless you do virginity mass testing. Also benefiting. Madam Carl, can they give us your remarks?
Now the protocol, I don't know. The chief guest, RDC in absentia, the district chairperson representative, spearheading this. We welcome you to Kyegegwa because it's a check on our activities, on what we do, and we don't take all the findings in bad faith. We are here, all of us, institutions, to improve service delivery for the people of Uganda, and Kyegegwa for this specific event. I'm sorry I came in late, so I was trying to read through the report so that I catch up with you. I saw some things here about where the internal auditors may be intimidated by the CAO to remove, maybe to drop the issues that are not in favor of CAO. Maybe for Kyegegwa, I'm not so sure that it is true.
No, it's not
Because CAO here ensures that internal audit section is respected, and it's in fact it is the song of the day, every meeting, that encourages people to really observe the laws regarding accountability, and we really respect the decision of internal audit. So that one for Kyegegwa is not true. Then on the issue, I saw some issue here concerning clear timelines on how long one should take to submit accountabilities. The law is very clear. It is 1 month. When you advance money in a period of 1 month, you're supposed to account. So there is no even need for more clarity, because we implement laws and policies. So it is very clear, and we've always tried to remind the staff to observe that. I don't know if I have any other issue that needs me.
most of the issues here are addressed to the high authority that puts in place the structures, so I may not have much input. If they think, if it is in favor of them that they are centralized to improve service delivery, we have no objection to that. So I thank you so much for organizing this event, and I'm hoping that we shall earn from it and improve on the service delivery that we give to the people. Thank you.
Thank you,
I wish you a nice stay in Kyegegwa district.
Thank you, Madam CAO, for your remarks. I want to take this opportunity to request Adidi I want to take this chance to request our chief guest to give your remarks. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Resident District Commissioner in absence here, the District Chairperson, who I'm sure must be now represented by one of the executives, the Chief Administrative Officer, the Board Chairperson of Anticorruption, Rwenzori Anticorruption, the members, heads of department, government departments in your various capacities, the Executive Director, Anticorruption, Rwenzori Anticorruption Coalition, and your staff, distinguished guests in your various capacities, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocol observed. We as Office of the Auditor General feel honored by this invitation to be the chief guest at this year's Anti-Corruption Convention organized by Rwenzori Anti-Corruption Coalition and Rwenzori Regional Governance Cluster. I'm convinced that you will also believe in him whom he sent. I am Dr. Ogenthopal Maxwell, Director in the Office of Auditor General in charge of technical services. I have a written speech of the Auditor General which I will read. Firstly, I welcome all of you to this convention, and this is Corruption Convention. It is a gesture of your cooperation in the fight against corruption, and I have heard all through the positive comments that are being given by the various speakers. This year's theme of anti-corruption campaign is promoting social accountability through active citizenry, fighting corruption. This time is a different fight altogether. One, this time the fight against corruption is not a witch hunt, and I wish to take note of this. It is not also fault finding, where people think that when you see an auditor, you see IDG, you see PPDA, you see the civil society arriving in your office, you start wondering whether somebody has accused you. You begin thinking that people are interested in your office. Sometimes you say they want to sling me. So the work of anti-corruption and civil society organizations are to correct service delivery. It is important to note, to correct service delivery problems which deny citizens to maximally enjoy the benefit of the taxes that they pay. This is what other countries are enjoying. For example, the citizen should be able to pay fees for the children. The citizen should get proper treatment, should drink clean water, should use good roads. Children should get good education, and you have heard the probation officer is already decrying a number of things that have gone wrong. Citizens should be able to do business that earns them a living, and it is about the fight against things that deny citizens opportunity to enjoy the benefit of the taxes that they pay. It is therefore a noble objective. It is a noble action where every citizen of this country should benefit from. The fight against corruption requires a concerted effort of everyone. Just to mention a few, it requires government, the private sector, civil society, the youth, cultural institutions, faith-based organizations, and development partners. The corrupt have formed a syndicate. I think you know what a syndicate is. To fight. So to fight them, even the anti-corruption agencies have formed a syndicate. That is why you see these days the Office of Auditor General, the Inspector General of Government, Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets, Director of Public Prosecution, CIID, the Police, State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Directorate of Ethics and Integrity and Civil Society working together. This explains why the Auditor General is represented here in RAC anti-corruption function today. It is a testimony of our working together. The greatest mission today, therefore, is a confirmation to you that we are together with the CSOs in this fight. If you escape the eye of the Auditor General, IGG, State House Anti-Corruption Unit, there is no way you will escape the eyes of the CSOs because they are everywhere. These days, when you are talking to officers from RAC or other anti-corruption civil society organizations, know that indirectly you are actually talking to all the above anti-corruption offices because we are linked. Government efforts to transform the Ugandan society into a modern and prosperous country through increased household income, improved quality of life, will only be attained when national values and ethics are embraced by everyone. And we have successfully fought corruption with true active citizenry. Active citizenry means agencies engaging more with citizens who have taken ownership of public resources and demand accountability from the public officers based on their reports, and understanding the role of anti-corruption agencies, that it is important in improving welfare. Social accountability here implies that public officers explaining to citizens directly how they utilize public resources entrusted to them to improve the welfare of citizens, and also answering questions and queries, rather than merely submitting accountability reports to government agencies. What then are the roles of the different players in this fight? The work of anti-corruption agencies promotes transparency in utilization of public resources. Corruption fears transparency, like light dispels darkness. Transparency makes life very difficult for the corrupt to operate, just like light makes it very difficult for criminals to commit crime, except for the daring ones. With transparency, it is also easier to catch the corrupt. Just like with light, it is easier for police to catch criminals. Through audits and investigations by anti-corruption agencies, we exposed corruption-related activities and abuse of office within organizations that we audit or investigate. This exposure acts as a deterrent and scares the corrupt, except the daring ones who will eventually get exposed. We believe that this act as a preventive tool in the fight against corruption. We note that some of the improvements in the quality of services delivered to citizens of Uganda are a result of this awareness, which the anti-corruption agencies, both state and non-state actors, have created. The anti-corruption agencies have also embraced working together, and this has enabled them to produce commendable work jointly with support of government and development partners. I think you have heard already from the testimonies given here how the government officials are appreciating the support of RAC, which we promote. For instance, we have undertaken a number of joint investigations and inspections, which have resulted into speedy handling of investigations and prosecution in courts of law. This has enabled the agencies to avoid duplication of efforts and wastage of resources utilized for such activities. I think I heard from the report of the ED RAC that over $1 billion had been recovered. This is something that would not have come out if it were based simply on the government agencies. We have supported each other by providing additional evidence gathered from forensic audits or special investigations for use in courts of law. Some of these are based on civil society organization information. We have also extended this joint fight against corruption to the district local governments with the involvement of civil society, spearheaded by the Honorable Minister of State Ethics and Integrity in the President's Office. This has resulted into building confidence in stakeholders, in stakeholders and agencies because of the teamwork. We have also undertaken joint planning strategies and held regular meetings which have made it possible for us to complement expertise, limitations within ourselves and that of, and made us achieve common goals in the fight against corruption. We have undertaken joint sensitization and training to equip ourselves to develop common approach while tackling corruption. My appeal to you today are as follows. 1, it is hard to resist an idea whose time has come. The time for fighting corruption has come. Don't be left behind. Gone are the days when CSOs were working alone, religious leaders alone, government agencies alone, and even counter-accusing each other, creating a lot of contradiction among themselves. 2, I call everyone to choose either to be part of the solution in the fight against corruption or remain part of the problem and risk being fought. Today, it is not business as usual. Every role you play is important. There is no simple one. See, a matchstick is small, but see how it is important in the process of cooking food, even if the food is being cooked for a king. So if your role is equivalent to that of a matchstick and you do not play it, what would happen to the food being prepared? Now, in that cooking of food, you need big logs, small ones. Just imagine if you do not have the small stick, the small matchstick, even the big logs may end up being useless. So that's what we are talking about, your role. So, if you think you are small, and without you, you know that the big logs will not work. So the big anti-agencies who can prosecute, who can, do arrest, if you don't play your small role, all those will be useless. The next thing is that the fight is not only in one front. There are many fronts. 1, there are those who report the corrupt or poor service delivery. And who are these? These are the ordinary citizens, community monitors, civil society organizations. 2, there are those who audit or investigate the corrupt. We have here the category Auditor General, IGG, PPDA, CIID, police. There are those who prosecute the corrupt. We have DPP here and the corruption courts, and those who testify as witnesses in the court. There are also those who advise the corrupt to change their ways or discourage them. Here we have relatives, we have parents, we have spouses, husbands and wives. You are aware that there are some high-profile cases which were actually successful because spouses reported on their own. I will not cite the example now, but you know. One case was I think in a forest. We also have friends here who can discourage. We have in-laws. The next there are those in whom the corrupt confide or even confess. The religious leaders. Their spouses and husbands. Spouses, husbands and wives are still here. I still have good memory of those days of an accounting officer from, I think, West, who no audits, no investigation revealed that he was corrupt. He himself came up and reported. I don't know whether you recall it. So, Do we still have such cases today? This is not a question for religious leaders. There are those who appreciate those who have delivered quality service. We have CSOs, government agencies, development partners. What I mean here is that it is also not good in the name of fighting corruption to only look for faults. If there is anything done good, like out of 10 projects, there is one which is good. Failure to appreciate that is another way of encouraging corruption. Because by appreciating that, there are those who will be taken up and say, if I've been doing this bad, for me to be appreciated, let me also do the right thing. So appreciating those who have done the right thing is another effort, another front in fighting corruption. And I'm very happy RAC, among other things, is appreciating the good effort. So do not blame in a blanket way. Blanket blame is also another challenge. There are those who support the work of anti-corruption agencies. Like government, of course, gives a lot of funding. You know, a number of institutions have been established by government and they are being supported to fight corruption. We have development partners who are supporting the fight of corruption, both in government and the civil society. We have citizens themselves who have cases which happened in Bushenyi, where citizens are the ones who contributed money actually to support the civil society to prosecute some corrupt people. And we do come on board and join the fight in any of the above ways. If you are not you are doing the following, you are part of the corruption problem. 1, you refuse to account to citizens. 2, you deny auditors access to your office or important documents and information. You refuse to cooperate with not corrupt. The anti-corruption agencies and civil society organizations now plan to strengthen their fight against corruption in the coming year 2021 and beyond as follows. Number 1, there will be increased collaboration efforts among anti-corruption agencies and civil society organizations. This will improve our synergies. I think you have started seeing some of it now. You will see more of this. We shall strengthen the involvement of citizens in the work process in the fight against corruption. I think you have seen the government effort in involving citizens, and I'm happy that the CSOs have done it even a better way because they are nearer to the citizens, and government agencies are relying on their information. So if we are, like for example, the Office of Auditor General has regional offices, but we cannot be there down in the parishes. The effort of civil society is allowing us access such important information. So those type of collaboration is going to be encouraged. And it is a worldwide activity. In the international forum, that is the effort now being made world over to involve citizens. We shall emphasize value for money in our audit processes. We shall continue to build our capacity to jointly fight corruption. The recommendations that the various agencies give to improve services will continue to be given, and I call upon those responsible to implement them, like impressing reports showing that a number of these issues raised are actually being implemented. In conclusion, therefore, we invite all citizens through their participation to join us and widen our visibility so to scare away and deny the corrupt the opportunity to misuse public resources. We need to increase efforts in the preventive area so that there are they will remain with the few daring ones who, of course, will be isolated and prosecuted accordingly. We need to reach out to citizens and ensure that we increase our physical presence. I was impressed to realize that actually the number of monitors of RAC are like half of the total number of staff in the Office of Auditor General, which means, and this is only 9 districts. So that is the type of presence which anti-corruption agencies should ensure. Our presence closer to service delivery locations will scare away the corrupt, just like presence of cats scare rats and keep them away. I call upon all of you to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Finally, I thank RAC for the concerted effort you are putting in the fight against corruption. Thank you for your time and attention. For God and my country, signed, John F.S. Mwanga, the Auditor General of Uganda. Yes, I have there are some comments that were raised by people here, and this is not part of what the Auditor General knew of, so maybe I'll respond to that. First of all, I think the auditor responded appropriately on accepting accountability after some time. It is true that there are some times when accountabilities come too late and they do not reflect realities. The good thing is that I hope we have the chairman part here. Yes, the chairman part. Some of these things you need to accept, you need to take them up, because there's no way you can bring a receipt 1 year later when it was not there at the time of the auditor. Now where did this receipt emerge from? So these are things that you need to take seriously. And the Parliamentary Public House Committee have rejected this thing. They no longer accept. You cannot come 3 years later and still talking about showing a receipt. Where was it? Where was it? So that issue needs to be taken seriously, and I think we shall all be together. Even the Office of Auditor General, we no longer accept it if it has taken too long. Why? This an investigation can be done any time. Even if we had concluded an audit today, if another interesting information comes, another investigation can be instituted immediately. So these matters will be taken up. I encourage all of you to be vigilant and know that it is to the benefit of citizens that we are working. If you have a bad finger pointing here, usually I have heard before that this is an American situation. They just say you always ask America to help you, but what have you done for America? That is also the issue. The same question is here. Yes, government should help you, but what have you done for government also? Because there is a dual responsibility. With this, thank you very much for hosting us, and I hope we shall continue for God and my country.
Thank you, Auditor General, for those remarks and the commitment for development. I believe dynamism is also allowed in corruption. So you will allow me to request a BRDC to give back these remarks.
Thank you very much, Chief Guest, Mr. Chairperson, CAO and the team and the technical team around, RAC members, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I'm late, but we are really very busy. Very busy. The season we are in is a challenging one and a busy one. And immediately after my remarks, I'll request to allow me to move, because we have one of the presidential candidates coming with the district. So that's why I put my phone off, because people are calling. So I have to move for certificate. I want to begin by thanking RAC once again, because as I have always said, in this country we have so many organizations, and we have had so many organizations. Some of them have been just briefcase organizations. Some of them just do the talking, because Ugandans are very good at talking. No implementation, no enforcement, no follow-up, which is not true with RAC. I've known RAC for some good years, and since I came to this district, I've been working with RAC, and I've seen them not only working, not only coming for meetings, but making follow-ups. They attend these meetings, they go to the field, bring their observations, we discuss them, they go back, monitor. Sincerely, RAC has done a very good job. also appreciate what they have been doing. Back to the Angela, we have now been working with Vic here and your team. We appreciate as a district. I also want to thank the technical team, CAO and your team. Because when we get these reports, when RAC brings their observations, when they point to their queries, the team makes a follow-up. When they have observed some mistakes, some poor workmanship, the team from the district corrects. And we always put them to task to explain where there has been some poor workmanship, where there has been no value for money. These people go there, they correct the mistakes, and even in our meetings they promise that we shall do this, we shall go there, we have already done this, we have already corrected this. So there has been very good working relationship between RAC and the technical team, which has been really very helpful. And in fact, that's why they have kept coming, and we have kept moving. So that's interesting and worth thanking. Thirdly, I want to thank the few words I've heard from the Auditor General, and their commitment. See, in Uganda we lack that thing, the commitment. Commitment is very important. This morning, I was listening to someone from the Ministry of Health. Some of you were on TV this morning. The other guy was saying that their staff, Ministry of Health, have been working under difficult conditions without pay. Their major purpose is to save lives, and they have not been paid for October and November, but they are working under very difficult conditions with this prevalence of COVID. So we need our people to know why they are in those offices. Our people should appreciate and understand that they are there to serve, and to serve the community, to serve the public, to serve the country. And that's the main issue which is lacking in our people. That's why at times we talk about patriotism. People to have the love for their country, the love for their people. Then you give the service. And those other issues you talked about in the auditing section, it has also been a problem. The auditors, when they go to do the job, they go there to look for the money. They are like the traffic police. Traffic police, when they are on the road, they want you to come without a driver's permit. They want you to come with a vehicle with some small problems, so that they get how to charge you and you give them money and they let you go. Then the auditors, they want to come and find their audit queries. They don't want to find things straight. So they say, but how about this? Where is the receipt? And you say, well, you know. You give an envelope, the things are, and the auditor is the one who's advising the other guy. Now what you do, you go and do that, you go and correct that, and then come back tomorrow. What are you doing? Are you there to save the country? Because you talked about not being part of the problem, but being part of the solution. Now auditors are no longer part of the solution, but they're part of the problem. Instead of giving the right advice, but they are there conniving with the technical people so they can get the money. So he's saying that now they have rejected the receipts of some queries of some months or years past. Let us believe that one is what is going on. That has been a problem in this country. It has been a very big problem. That's why you find the auditors or everybody working in the Auditor General's office are making a lot of money. Where do they get the money? The salary is there. But when you see, we have seen them, we have relatives, we have some people working in the Auditor General. When they post to somewhere, say, time has come now to do what? To make money, to eat. To get money, to do this. That's why I'm saying that they want to find the mistakes so they can make money. So let us be sincere. Let us serve this country, serve our people, so we fight this corruption. If the issue, the subject is fighting corruption, we can't fight corruption by being compliance. We should fight it by doing the right thing. Finally, I want to talk about COVID-19. Because whereas we are saying what we are saying, whereas we are fighting corruption, I want you to know that COVID is at its peak. Angela, you're the one who is here. Is this Angela?
Yes. I couldn't recognize
I
you.
couldn't that mask. But you have recognized me, have you?
Of course.
I'm sorry I didn't recognize you. When I mentioned your name, you didn't know if you are around.
I was around.
But when I heard you, I can laugh. Then the customer realized that you are the one. So COVID-19 is at peak, and so many people are getting, contracting the disease. Those who are just being recorded are a small fraction. There are those who are at their homes. You heard that man this morning saying that they are getting cases over 200 every day. And if they continue getting that number, and if the number increases, those who require to go to the intensive care are about 100 a day. And if they increase and they don't have the facility to contain that big number, that's why we're continuing to get deaths now. And all families are affected by the let me tell you. All families. Even this morning I received a report of someone, a lady from Toro that I know. You know her? Huh?
She's a royal.
A royal. Cox. She died this morning. She was rushed to Kampala. She died this morning. And so many other people. So the disease really is too much. We should continue protecting ourselves and adhere to all these guidelines from the Minister of Health and His Excellency the President. Some of us who are getting in contact with so many people, we are at risk. We are at very great risk because we can't avoid these people. People are coming to our offices. Even this morning, later we had a meeting with so many people. And that's the problem. Some of our people are sick. I have some people, my relatives who are sick in Kampala of the disease. So it's a big problem. In fact, tomorrow I'll be going on to, you may not teach them directly, but you have to be near. Because I have very close relatives, and so many of them. My deputy also has an uncle with the whole family. So it's a big problem. You get news from here, from there, from there. So I want to caution you people, sustain the masses, don't leave it to the leaders only, don't leave it to, even when you go for these trainings, when you go for these such meetings, please tell the people about COVID. Because it's very, very serious. Very, very serious. We are in this political season. People don't understand when you tell them we don't want masses. People make it political. When they are tear gassed, they don't understand that they want them to, they don't want crowds, they don't realize that it's for their own good. So even these members of the press tell the people that the situation is not good. We don't want crowds. Because when they opened up, so you can see now the virus has gone up. Because now people are moving at ease. You see what is in school or in arcades and here and there. So please, 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 members of the press, try to teach people. Everybody should take it to himself or herself to continue advising our people. Otherwise, I want to thank you so much for this time you have given us. I want once again to thank RAC. We shall continue working with you, cooperating with you, supporting you, so that we fight corruption out of our society and assist our people to understand the dangers of corruption. Thank you very much.
Thank you, RDC. Members, I know the leaders, as I said, they really want to go. Next on agenda, we are going to give a recognition. I request my staff to pass it, totally pass it to me. And after the recognition, we are going to sign a commitment, give it to me too. And then immediately after that, we are going to launch our new logo where you support us in cutting that cake. So I want to do it very fast so the leaders can be part of my pictures, because it's very important that you are It's accountability for RAC. So the chief guest, I would like to read the recognition. It's a certificate of recognition awarded, maybe I let the chief guest read it. Okay. Awarded by Rwenzori Anticorruption Coalition, Kyegegwa District Local Government, in appreciation for your continued support to fight corruption in Kyegegwa District. It's signed by myself and the board chairperson. So I would like the chief guest to hand it over to CAO, chairman, and RDC, because with your support, we could not, without your support, we could not have fought most of these issues. Thank you. Thank you so much. That I think is good. Members, we are going to sign the commitment. It is called the Zero Tolerance to Corruption. We are the undersigned duty bearers of Kyegegwa District Local Government, pledge to do everything within our mandate to fight against all forms of corruption in the Rwenzori region. We are going to have the chairman sign. I hope everyone has their own pen. We don't want to keep changing pens. Then after the resident district commissioner, then the CAO himself. Then below to be witnessed by our chief guest, myself, and then our chairperson board. So if you finish, we'll and sign.